we digest our work on a daily basis, just like Goldilocks sampling the bowls of porridge left out by the three bears. But what happens when it's too hot or too cold? Each organization's appetite for innovation is going to be different. So how do we recognize what's too much or too little? Just like Goldilocks, how do we find that just right bowl of porridge? What indicators are important for us to pay attention to when implementing change? On one end of the innovation spectrum, we have the way we've always done it, the old school, the safe place of working. So let's take technology as an example. When it comes to innovation, not enough is really the lack thereof. But does the way we've always done it work? Like, really work? 20 years ago, sure. Today, no. And stagnancy can cost you big. According to Failroy, over 50% of small business failure can be traced back to a failure to innovate. Utilities may not face the same pressure to innovate, but we will suffer from not innovating by failing to meet permits due to technology incapable of treating to those levels, or by wasting hours fixing failing old technology, or by simply handwriting documents. So how do we pick up on cues of not enough? Let's take one visual cue, paper. Now, not all paper is indicative of a failure to innovate, but according to DocuPhase, a typical office worker makes 61 trips to the copy machine per week. What do you think of a laboratory still documenting results by hand in 2021? How many personnel hours are wasted translating manual records into a LIMS system? Paper is time consuming. And it also has the side effect of needing someplace to go. Hallways, rooms are clogged with the plaque of filing cabinets in my water treatment plant. Did you know that OSHA lists filing cabinets as a common source of injuries? And not just regular injuries, I'm talking amputations and bone breakage. Laboratory technicians at my POTW transfer data 3 times from original readings to the bench sheet, from the bench sheet to a summary sheet, and from a summary sheet to a LIMS system. These technologists are doing their work 3 times, and they know it. And I assure you, this will be remedied with our new LIMS system that's in beta. Let's explore an auditory cue, complaints. It doesn't work. Why are we still doing this? The LIMS system is broken again. People in your charge are experts in what they do, and we should listen to them. This should be a palm to the face moment of we need to innovate now. Since I've been supervisor of my department, I have had numerous complaints about our industrial pretreatment software, which is essentially an Access database and an Excel workbook that work together. These 2 items were written by my predecessor's predecessor. So when they go down, there's no one to ask for help. People enjoy hearing a favorite song come on. It strikes a chord with them. People will also, in the same way, become engrossed with something that frustrates them. And as such, complaints may not be only an indication of where you have not enough innovation, but could be an indication of where you have too much. But I think I'm going to let Kristin explain that one to you.
As Leah discussed, our industry is comprised of people who are experts in their fields. As leaders, we may have one perspective on how, why, or what change is needed in our organizations. But when a change is implemented and we hear our teams complaining about it, we need to use that as an indicator to reflect. Are we pushing too much too soon? Will this change provide the satisfaction and efficiency that our team needs? Is this really innovative, or is it just different, wrapped in unnecessary complexity? Are we pushing something too hot for our teams to digest? A Bain survey reported by Harvard Business Review found that 70% of the over 900 global executives surveyed reported that unnecessary complexity hindered their business. Disruption overload is a term used to describe the phenomenon in which people are unable to access or absorb an innovative change. Let's describe the phenomenon by building on Leah's example of digitizing data. We found a cloud-based system that requires a computer for access to help with our big data needs. So we implement the change. but our teams are still complaining. It's too slow. It's way longer than the previous 3-step process. What's wrong? Why isn't it working for us? We were told this is the way the industry was going. This is the new standard. When we took a minute to stop and reflect, we found that our IT infrastructure was unable to handle the big data changes. In this instance, our physical assets required a change in order to maximize the benefits and efficiencies we wanted to experience with this change. In this case, our physical assets were experiencing disruption overload. An IT system is one asset required to run a treatment facility. But what's the most important asset required to run any collection or treatment facility? It's people. Preparing a physical asset for change is one thing, but preparing people for change, that's a completely different story. Just like Goldilocks, each person has a different capacity and preference for change. If we haven't done our due diligence to prepare our people and teams for change, there's a good chance that we're implementing something too hot for them to handle. James Velasco and Ralph Sayer are known for quipping that change is hard because people overestimate the value of what they have and underestimate the value of what might be gained from giving that up. It's our job as leaders to set the vision for the value that may be gained by embracing change. Ownership of change is key to the long-term success of innovation. Have we gotten comments and incorporated them from key change stakeholders? Have we communicated our motivations and drivers for the change? Have we incorporated stakeholders into beta testing and spec development? Have we offered enough training? Goldilocks may have one answer to these questions and I might have another. What might be too little innovation for one person may be too much for me. Finding out what the just right temperature for change at our organizations is difficult, but stay tuned to our next video to find out more.